Hey, this is Nick and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about day 4 of the Tony Robbins Covid-19 Comeback Challenge. That is a mouthful. Today's topic was business, which if you've been following my channel at all, I have another YouTube channel as well that is a business channel. I've been in construction for 19 years, so business is something that I'm very accustomed to. So this was a good topic for me today to hear. It's interesting because I started this YouTube channel because I was kind of sick of my business and wanted something new. So let's get right into this today. So right off the bat, Tony's talking about a whole bunch of statistics for businesses and how many fail within the first year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Basically said only 4% of businesses are still standing after 10 years. So I've just crossed 10 years, so I guess that's a good thing. I'm still standing, but not loving it. I mean, business is profitable, I guess. I'm doing fine. But I find it funny that at the 10-year mark, I'm ready to all right, what's next, you know? So we talked about these two main things that you need: innovation and marketing. And innovation, he said, is not like technology innovation. You just need to find a better way to meet people's needs. And marketing is just how you get people to want to do business with you. And, you know, technology and advertising has changed a whole lot of stuff with marketing as far as that goes. But 15 years ago, you only needed 4 exposures before somebody would make a sale. So they had to see your ad 4 times before they would make a sale. Now, because people are so inundated with ads, it takes 16 at least before someone makes a purchase. And he talked about how most of us, we link our identity to our business. And I know that's true for me. My business is me, you know, I am my business. Especially I'm a sole proprietor. I literally am my business. So if something's going wrong in my business, something's going wrong in my life. And it works both ways. If something's going wrong in my personal life, it definitely bleeds into my business. And they had a video clip today of Sara Blakely, who is the founder of Spanx, which I am not familiar with, but Trisha knew exactly what it was. It's a female undergarment, something like that. And so they did a 30-minute thing, and she talked business about how she started her business. And, you know, she went above and beyond and called Neiman Marcus directly and just kept calling until they would pick up. And finally they picked up, and she was able to kind of pitch her idea. And it was cool to hear how she started with nothing. I mean, she was a door-to-door salesman. What did she sell? I wrote it in here. Oh yeah, she was a door-to-door fax machine salesman. She even worked at Disney World dressed in a costume as a chipmunk. But now she's a billionaire, you know. When she was 16 years old, her dad gave her Dr. Wayne Dyer's book, How to Be a No-Limit Person. I'm going to put a link for that down in the description. And she said it changed her life. She listened to this, I forget what she said, 12 cassettes or something, and she'd actually memorized them. So she would listen to them and she would just talk the cassette. You know, she just worked it into her system. So at 16 years old, she was already working on this stuff. And the whole point of her brand, she tries to think about her clientele, you know, who she's doing this for, not about herself, you know. And she thinks that's something that's really helped her thrive in this, is that she's focused so much on her customers. And she also said, she asked herself, what is the most effective way to get brand awareness for no money? And then when they go back to the studio and Tony's in there, he's just talking about the importance of repetition and how Sara, you know, he's relating to Sara and how she has to go through pain. You know, she had to go through pain and break down, and then eventually this idea came to her and she just powered through and worked her butt off. And then he recommended a book which was kind of similar. You know, she had talked about this book when she was young, and then he talked about a book that was recommended to him by Jim Rohn when he was younger, called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And he told a funny story because Jim Rohn mentioned this book to him and he goes, yeah, I read it already. And Jim Rohn's like, well, how many times have you read it? And he's like, well, I read it once. And Jim Rohn's like, I've read it a dozen times and I'm rich, and you've read it once and you're not, so maybe you should read it again. And I thought that was funny because, like, I mean, I put it on my list. I also added this one to the description too, so if you want to check it out, I'm probably going to buy that one. And he just continually talks about how we have to continue growing in our business. You know, any business that stays stagnant is just not going to go anywhere, right? And you just have to continually grow. All right, if this is helping you, if you're getting any value out of this right now, go down there, hit the subscribe button, ring that little bell, and give me a like, a thumbs up thing. And leave me a comment while you're at it. Let me know what you think. And then on the sheet that we got online today, one of the questions, the first one said, what's one thing you can do this week to take your career business to the next level? And Tony had said, get crystal clear about what you want from this career or business. And that came right into my head when I was writing this down. I need to write a game plan for marketing and get crystal clear about what I want from this career, because I'm trying to pivot my businesses right now out of construction and into this digital media stuff that I'm working on, and I don't know anything about it. I'm learning everything right now, you know, so it's not like I can just dive in, but I want to have some sort of a plan. I've been, over the last 3 months, really just like kind of seeing where it goes, and I'm starting to get more of a clear vision, but it's still very blurry, so that's difficult right now. But you know, the next thing I was going to talk about, he said this the last couple days, is clarity is power. And that's one thing that I'm lacking right now, is clarity on what I want. But one thing that he said today, focus on what you want instead of what you don't want, is something that a couple months ago I actually heard this somewhere else and made a shift in my brain, because I kept saying, I don't want to go back to work. Like, I don't want to go back to my same job. And I had to stop saying that and start saying, I want to go back to work. I want to do something that I want to do, you know, and I started shifting it to, like, I don't want to go back to work, to I want to do this thing that I want to do, you know. And he talks about how you need grace, you need God, you need to look for this higher power thing and ask, you know. And this reminds me of, there's a documentary, I think it's based on a book, I'm not really sure. It's based on a thing that's been around for a long time called The Secret. You've probably heard of it. Tony kind of like touches on it a lot. And he listed these 4 things today: ask intelligently, ask specifically, add value first, and ask consistently. And it's like this, putting it in your mindset that, you know, this is what I want, this is what I'm going for, and then it manifests itself. And that whole thing of manifestation of the thing that you want is the secret. But it's like, you have to, in your deepest part of you, believe it. And then Tony gave a whole bunch of examples of businesses that are really pivoting during this COVID-19 and thriving right now. And he talked about the stages of grief that we've all been going through and that he was going through. You know, he got really angry and upset about this whole like thing, we're being shut down, and then he pivoted, and now he's just like taken off. Because, as he's said before multiple times this week, crisis creates breakthrough. Then he leaks the project that he's been working on. He's been talking about the Zoom room, and I don't know if that's what he was talking about or the room that he's been doing these in, but they're doing this Unleash the Power Within virtual event, and he showed this picture of this room, and he spent $4 million on this room and this technology to be able to do these live events without actually being live, and we can still do these things on the computer. And he's going to be able to reach a lot more people, and it's going to be more affordable for people, and he's super pumped about it because he's going to be able to help more people. And so that's pretty cool. And then they give us the challenge for the day, which is, where were you in your business career? Where are you now? And where are you going? And I think I touched on basically all that as I was talking. You know, I was in this construction world, and I'm trying to phase out and into this new thing, but the new thing isn't really up and going yet, so I'm still working on building it and building content and learning and creating, and I'm having a lot of fun doing that. And I'm lucky right now, I guess lucky is a relative term, that I've been able to collect unemployment, and my business is probably going back to work soon, but I'm not really sure. I'm kind of holding off on it actually, as I'm putting so much energy into this other stuff. So I'm really pumped about my new stuff, and it's making it really hard to think about going back to the old stuff. So anyway, that's it for today. There's day 4 for you in a nutshell. All right, well, thanks for watching this. Please subscribe and like and leave me a comment. Let me know your experience with this Tony Robbins challenge, if you're doing it, and if you're not, check it out. It's free to do. And I'll see you on the next video.